What's up, YouTube? It's Big Fish here with another reaction video. I know. I have not been consistent lately, but I've been making a couple life changes. I've been getting back into training, up at a boxing school right now, trying to get these hands better before I get back into my MMA world. But today we're not here for that. We're here for Barack Obama on this Russian gate. And guess what our lovely Tulsi Gabbard then came up with? She got some info for us, and I want to hear this because we need some accountability in here. I heard no one's above the law so many times from a certain Letitia James. So let's hear what she has to say.
So brand new revelations into the alleged Russia hoax.
Russia.
A trove of declassified documents revealing evidence that the Obama administration manufactured and politicized.
Trump always got up that black power fit. I can't even be mad at it because he's invited to every single cookout that I have.
Intelligence during Trump's 2016 election.
The documents released by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, described secret meetings after Trump's victory where Obama officials directed the intel community to leak reports that Vladimir Putin was personally involved in the U.S. election hack. This after the intelligence community repeatedly determined that Russia was not trying to influence the election by cyber means.
Here with more is DNI Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, thanks for joining us. And some of those individuals were literally the leaders of the intelligence community under President Obama.
She's so sexy with that little white little strip of hair right there. Love it.
Thank you so much, and thanks for focusing on this issue that these documents have really brought to the forefront, because it's one that doesn't just affect Democrats or Republicans. It's not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue with such significant impact that it should concern every American, because it has to do with the fabric and integrity of our democratic republic. That we had a situation here where in the months leading up to the 2016 election, the intelligence community assessed, and this is what the documents detail, the intelligence community assessed essentially Russia doesn't have the tools, the capability, or the intent to try to change the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. Donald Trump pulls off a historic victory against Hillary Clinton in November of 2016. Even in the days after that election, the intelligence community continued their consistent assessment that reflected the same thing in the months leading up to the election. All of a sudden, in the early days of December, there was a President's Daily Brief that was drafted. This is put together by the different elements of the intelligence community that reflected that same assessment. Russia did not try to hack the election, in essence. That PDB, that document, was pulled hours before it was supposed to be published for the president to see that following morning. That document was never published until we released it yesterday. One day later, President Obama calls a meeting of his National Security Council, his top officials, to be held on what they called a sensitive topic. And the results of that meeting, which we released yesterday, and these over 100 documents that talk about in detail how President Obama and his team, he directed a manufactured piece of intelligence that detailed not if, but how Russia tried to influence the outcome of the United States election that President Trump won in November of 2016. This document was then used as the foundation for everything that came next. It was essentially a years-long coup that was launched against President Trump before he even had the opportunity to take his oath of office and be sworn in as President of the United States. So, as you know, there was a Mueller investigation that went on for years, cost taxpayers nearly $40 million. There were 2 congressional impeachments. President Trump and almost every member of his family were smeared and attacked, faced lawsuits, depositions. High-level officials were investigated, some were arrested and put in jail. The list goes on and on about the ramifications of this, but foundational to it all was the fact that we had in President Obama and his leadership team people who did not want to accept the will of the American people in electing Donald Trump in 2016, and therefore cooked up this treasonous conspiracy to, again, try to effectively, and they did effectively, launch a years-long coup against the sitting president of the United States.
Director Gabbard, I'm glad you used the word.
This is crazy. This is absolutely diabolical. A lot of people on the internet, conspiracy-wise, we think Obama's at least had 3 terms. Because Biden was not running that White House while he was in there. And he was about to have a 4th term if Kamala won. Because we knew she said she wasn't going to change her darn thing if she would have gotten to the office. He said, Joe Biden? No, I'm not going to change nothing that he did. I'm going to run just like he did. Huh? Are you crazy? And that's why 60 Minutes got cooked. That's why they got sued by Trump. But listen, if this is really true, if this man really plotted to try to take Donald Trump down, he's got to be held accountable. He's got to be behind bars or something. I need something to happen to these politicians that's over here playing around. These Democrats are really trying to burn down America for no reason. Just because of a difference of opinion from a different political party. Why? What are you going to get from this outcome? Us getting conquered from other nations? We are the most hated nation. No one really cares for us, quite honestly. They just deal with us and tolerate us because we're the most powerful. If Russia probably tried to link up with China, Japan, Korea, Afghanistan, Mexico, all of these great powers, they can probably do something to us. But we got to stand firm. And we got to hold these politicians accountable. They're not above the law, as they said about Trump. And this guy right here, Obama, he's been going through it lately. He was just on his wifey's and her brother's podcast talking about, listen, you can do whatever you want. I accept everybody for who you are and whatever sexuality that you want to be in. But he's talking about you should at least have one LGBTQ person in your friend group. So you can understand, why do you have to? You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. I've had plenty of gay friends, lesbian friends. I haven't had any trans friends. They're all cool. But you don't have to have anything or have to include anybody. It's wild. His legacy is starting to become tarnished right now. And you already got to go on her podcast to talk about divorce rumors. Who has to go talk about if you're getting a divorce or not? Like, come on now. Come on, Obama. You're going outside, brother.
Word coup. I also, in some of your reports, the word treason has come up. We're seeing a lot of things coming to light these days, and it's very encouraging for Americans, especially this report, which so many of us knew this was a hoax. But this goes all the way to the top. I mean, this goes all the way to Barack Obama. Will we actually see someone as high up as Barack Obama take responsibility, be accountable, maybe face criminal charges? Is that a possibility here based on the documents that you've released?
Please.
Yeah, Rachel, the seriousness of, again, the implications and the consequences of these actions that were taken demand accountability. The American people not only deserve the truth and accountability. When we look at the future of our country as a democratic republic and the American people's ability to have faith that when they go and cast a vote at the ballot box, that the will of the people will be respected by those in government, whether they be Democrats or Republicans, this is literally what is at stake here. So we are referring all of our documents to the Department of Justice for the purpose of accountability and action. No one, no matter who they are, no matter how high up they are or how powerful they may be, no matter who the intelligence officials or professionals were who were a part of this treasonous conspiracy. There must be accountability. The truth must be shown to the American people in order to ensure that there is this faith and trust and integrity in our democratic republic for the sake of the future of our country.
Tulsi, say no one's above the law. That's what I want to hear.
Can we feel confident that we will actually see charges, do you think, out of this?
Quite honestly, I don't think so. I honestly don't think. The whole time Trump was running for this his 2024 election, they were saying he was going to go after his political enemies. But I just want to see these people go to jail. All the scam, all the fraud, all the money that's been wasted going to these different places, although USAID has been dismantled. I want to see people go to jail. If I was doing this stuff as a civilian, I would be behind bars for life. I want to see these politicians do at least 10, 20 years. George Soros, people like him, I want to see him gone. Nancy Pelosi, I want to see her behind bars. Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, I want to see bars. Cold, cell, crying, whining.
Not a lawyer. We're referring all of this to the Department of Justice. I know that Attorney General Pam Bondi is committed to bringing about justice to those who have broken the law. And in this case, again, what these documents detail, to me, in my view, cannot be explained as anything but a treasonous conspiracy. This is not so different from what we saw under George W. Bush, when we saw that manufactured intelligence claiming there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that kicked off a war that changed our country, that changed the lives of so many people like myself who went and served in those wars. The implications of manufactured intelligence are real. I would even say that what we are seeing here has an even greater impact than what we've seen in the past, because it speaks again to the foundation of our Constitution and our democratic republic, which is why accountability is so critical.
We should not have been over there in Iraq for so long. Over there for almost 2 decades, which is crazy, for nothing. For nothing. Just to fight a war that we didn't even need to be in. All over oil and all this money, these kickbacks that these politicians were getting. This is disgusting and wild. It's a sad, sad time. And I have not forgotten about the Epstein files. That is, honestly, I can't think of anything else outside of Epstein files. That is the only thing we have fumbled. But as you see, as we're tearing down all of these frauds and scams, all of this new stuff is starting to come out. And we gotta pull the wool from our eyes and actually absorb this knowledge. I know that we're on different sides, but as a person who needs to be in the middle, as people who need to be in the middle, we need to really understand what we're going through right now. All these protests are for nothing. We're trying to save America. The only reason they brought illegals in here is to pay them cheap labor as slaves, and so they can have a vote. Because the Democrats are starting to lose all different ethnicities and races over here. Hispanic people, Asians, the Jewish, Black community, Caucasian community. Everybody is starting to switch away from the Democratic Party. They haven't been helping us when they've been in office. They've just been trying to feed different agendas. They've been trying to play the people's emotions. Hey, Republicans, we're playing on emotions too. We're taking the tactics out of the Democratic Party book. You gotta fight fire with fire sometimes, and oh, Willie well. Oh, Willie well. Well, Tulsi, thank you for coming out and telling us what you're finding inside of the intelligence agency, because we need to hear this kind of stuff. This is it's been a fantastic time, honestly. It hasn't even been a year yet, and the stuff that we've been finding, the stuff we've been dismantling is lovely. I'm loving life right now. Like I said, this is my first time being invested in politics. I'm about to be 30 next year. It took me this long to actually start investing my time and actually paying attention to open up my eyes. And I'm happy I have. So, go down to the comment section. Tell me how you felt about the video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you. Peace.